it's on you.
All right. Hey, everyone. Here we are. We've reached the semifinals. Uh, Getting really excited to see what happens here at the end. I'm going to be honest, though, I also think about on 2 weeks, this is all going to be over. And it kind of brings a little bit of sadness to me. But, anyways, what do you think, Sean? What are you thinking about the semifinals? And what do you think of what happened last week?
I mean, you've been saying how you haven't had anybody to play, and I'm pretty sure I gave you a little heart attack going into Monday night there. Uh, I mean, I've only had 4 words. Well, 3 words. Fuck Matt Ryan. I mean, if he was a real quarterback, I would have definitely beaten you. I mean, I think if I would have picked up Brandon Allen and played him, I would have won. I think that's what it came down to. So yeah, Matt
Yeah.
Ryan screwed me. And then you have it. I mean, you have Sabatica Spartans who scored 306, beating Life's a Mitch who scored 295. Either of those teams would have beat anybody else.
I think that was obviously clearly the biggest surprise. I mean, I'm no offense, Josh, but I was hoping for Sabatica Spartans just because I still think you have a better team than Sabatica Spartans. But I'm telling you, I told you guys about Sabatica Spartans and Swahino, obviously, who took out Deuce Bombers. I mean, these guys breezed through the tiers when we had 3 tiers. So I knew
Mm-hmm.
they were good owners right off the bat, and they're doing it without making that many moves too, which has been surprising. And I'm just gonna throw right in there again for you guys from the states. You were bragging all year, hey, look at that division, look at our division, and not a single one of you are in the semifinals. So
Yeah,
throwing that in there.
yeah. I mean, then you have Green Lightning and Too Good for a Name that who scored 206, where they would have played anybody else. Too Good for a Name. Green Lightning would have lost. I mean, what killed me was losing those 2 weeks. I would have got better matchups. I would have probably played Green Lightning, or at least Too Good for a Name. Would have made the semifinals. I know if I would have beat anybody for Lysa Mitch, he would have he would have made the semifinals. It came down to the matchups really.
Yeah, no, it was insane to watch, and I'm excited to see what happens this week. But I guess we should kind of look at the losers a little bit and see what's happening in the consolation bracket, and maybe look at previewing those matchups. The reality is, let's face it. I think it was what was it last year we introduced the consolation being for the first overall,
Yep.
before it was for the fifth overall, and it just wasn't as exciting.
Mm.
Now the first overall pick, it's pretty exciting. Like
Yeah.
it's worthwhile to.
Yeah. I mean, there's people rooting for people, rooting against people. I have the breakdown once we start getting into that who has what. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's exciting times. I think it's amazing. To have you actually have to compete to the end, even if your team doesn't make the actual playoffs. You still have a shot in getting the first overall pick, or worst case, second overall. I mean, you still have chances to improve your team for next year.
Yeah, totally. I love it. So I keep an eye on it too, even though it is the losers.
Yep. So first up, we're going to talk about the age crew versus the 12th man, and just to do a quick recap on everything, the architect has the age crew's first, and the age crew has his second, which obviously in a snake draft that's the end of the second round. If you so you would get the first overall, and that was that 40th pick, and then for the 12th man, Templars has his first, and the 12th man has his own second. So that's the recap on that. And then honestly, I think Adrian, the age crew here is going to help the architect and get and architects looking even more dangerous. I think the age crew is going to take the win. I just like the age crew's running backs just a little bit better, especially his wide receivers. Um, and then the 12th man, and your brother. So I think Brian is going to lose, and you can rub it in his face a little more.
Yeah, I think it's clear Brian's going to lose. I mean, all you got to do is look at the wide receiver group, and I'm looking at Brian's, and I see names like Cordero Patterson, AJ Hamler. I see Jalen Richard in the starting lineup. Brian's been a pretender all year, and we all know it. And he's been a
Yeah.
pretender for the last seasons. and he continues to be a pretender. And I am going to throw it in his face. Whereas Adrian, like, I think he's probably the worst luck owner this year in terms of the playoff teams, because I considered him to have one of the stronger teams in the LOC and also even in Dynasty, and he's out of it. He's out of all of it. I mean, I know he did win some money in Dynasty, which we could talk about, but he's playing for the Architect here, and he said he was going to play. He's going to stay to the end, and I think every owner in here would. And yeah, I think Brandon is going to be very scary next year. He's got like 22 picks in the first 10 rounds, and if he scores the first overall, we're done. But we'll see. Anything can happen.
Yeah, I mean, if the age crew would have made the playoffs in the eighth spot, he would have been in the semifinals. So yeah, I mean, he scored
There you go.
251 last week. So next up, we have Storm versus the sixth. Um, going in, Krista hasn't traded a top one of any of her top five picks, so she has all of her own top five. And then for the sixth, he has his own first, and then Architect has his second. So we all know who the Architect is rooting to win. He'd rather have the better pick. And I think this one's actually going to be pretty damn close. I think, yeah, the 6 point difference projection. And the only reason I'm actually going to go with Storm is just, Derrick Henry. I mean, you don't know how many points he's going to put up in a week.
Derrick Henry's awesome. I mean, even if you're not a Titans fan, I love watching him run the football, man. Like, the guy is a beast. Like, he's just fun to watch. I think this one's going to be close. Two Maple Leaf division foes here, obviously in the losers bracket, and I honestly, I'm leaning towards the six winning this one, and the reason why I am is because Wilson has been playing poorly, and that's someone that I think the Storm relies on for a lot of points, and he's in Washington, and Washington has a really good defense. I mean, if you notice for Sabatica Spartans, Washington's defense, I think, put up like 29 points for them, which helped them seal the win. So, that's why I'm going to go with the six here. I think it's going to be super close, but I think the six finds a way.
Well, just going on to the Washington's defense, the reason they got so many points is they had that two defensive touchdowns last week. So I don't see that happening again this week. So, but I mean that defense is definitely getting better, and maybe next year that team's gonna be scary good if they can get a really good a quarterback on that team. Alex Smith's hurt, Haskins hurt, but I mean your points are valid. I think it's gonna be a close game. Next up, we have you versus Swigino. And I was actually looking through all the picks, and I don't think Swigino traded any of his picks this year. I mean, I know I've been, as you said earlier, I've been in the international division hell all year. But for a guy to score, have a really good team, not trade any picks, is crazy.
Suhino is insane. The guy has the best career win percentage in the LOC. Yeah, smaller sample size. It's only his second year, but he does have the best winning percentage in the LOC. He got second place last year. Let's not forget he was in last year's finals,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
He took the grace. Obviously, cost him some cash, but here he is again. And here's the thing: the matchup between these two teams. Suhino's won 7 straight. I've won 6 straight now.
Yeah.
So one of these strikes is going to come to winning streaks is going to come to an end. And Suhino scares me because Lamar versus Jacksonville. Lamar could put up 50 there, and that could be the difference. No joke. I'm hoping it doesn't happen, obviously. And I think my team is just better overall. If you look at the RWTs, he's got guys like Jamal Agnew in there, or I got like Hollywood Higgins, right? So, I think I'm just stronger there in the depth. But yeah, I think it's gonna be way closer than what NFL.com is saying. 60 points for me. I think it's gonna be way closer, but I am gonna pick myself to go to the finals.
I'm gonna pick you as well. But wouldn't it be ironic if the reason you lost was the Cleveland's defense? I mean, you have basically you have Chubbs. I know you have Higgins. You have Garrett and a couple other Browns on your team, but he has the Browns defense. I think it'd be ironic if they like score a touchdown. I don't think there's actually you have any Monday night game players this week. I think it'd be ironic if the Browns scored like a touchdown with like 2 seconds left and like it made you lose. That would be the funniest thing I would ever see. And
It could happen. I mean, I am worried about the matchup for the Browns in New York. They got a great defense.
yeah,
Jabril Peppers is a guy that's going to want a little bit of revenge there. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. But I still think I win.
yep, I agree with you there. Just recapping, you have your first, and Canadian guy has his second, and as I said, Swahino has all his picks. Next up, in the last game we're going to talk about for the LOC is Green Lightning versus Sabatica Spartans. Another guy who hasn't traded a pick in his top 13. I mean, I don't know what's going on in the international division, but they don't like to make picks, and they're have pretty good damn teams.
Yeah, no, I think Swahino was one of the only teams that didn't make a move along with Ellie Island, and I think Subotica maybe made one or two trades. It was minimal.
Yep.
Yeah, and these guys build the team through the draft and through the waiver wire. I mean, I always thought like I had pretty decent football knowledge, and then I'm looking and Swahino's picking up guys that are not like they're off the radar, and I'm like, how the heck is he finding these guys? And Sabatica Spartan, same thing. Like this guy was he went undefeated in tier 3, and I think he went undefeated in tier 2 to get to the LFC. To be honest, I can't recall. Dusan would know. I think Green Lightning, I look at a bunch of questionables on his roster. That's definitely going to hurt. I also look, Miles Gaskin, COVID, Hollywood Brown, COVID. So he's in serious trouble, in my opinion, and I'm going to go with my preseason pick here. Subotica Spartans is getting to the finals.
I am going to go with you on that one. And BC Lions has Green Lightning's first and second. So since it's not constellation, it's actually real playoffs. That second round pick is pick 21, which is really important for teams. So yeah, I mean I know people want if you have a second pick, yeah, you want those teams to win, so you got that better pick. The only saving grace that I think is gonna be a close game. The only saving grace I think for Green Lightning is Herbert and playing the Raiders here, who I think it's gonna be a high scoring game. So Herbert might throw 3 or 4 touchdowns. Um, but then Cam Akers, the dude's a beast of at least really. He's gonna score. He's gonna get all the touches. He's playing the Jets, so I mean it's gonna be like I said, it's gonna be a close game. But I'm gonna go with you. I'm gonna go with Spartans on this one.
Yeah, I see Dusan's also got Goff versus the Jets, too. So
Yeah.
that's going to help him.
Yep. Next up, we have we're gonna switch over to Dynasty, and then let's take a look what happened last week. So you had the number one seed lost to no more, even though bit of a shocker, but well, to me the shocker is the how much he beat them by, almost 90 points there. Actually, I think it's a little over 90. And then you have Vlad Jr. crew beating Zebras again. We both said Zebras team is not that good anymore. She doesn't have that that backup quarterback. I think she actually picked up one and started because Wentz is on the waiver wire. Let's see who she actually picked up in this game and started. Yeah, she picked up Glennon, who got benched halfway through, so that definitely didn't help her. And then let's scroll down just a little more. And then you have likely losers, who I've been calling probably losers for the last couple weeks. One beat Orange Crush. Another team that was probably going to make it to the championship game. And then you lost to Curly Lamborghini, who you've been bragging about how great your team is. So yeah, I mean, number of seeds 1, 2, and 3, yeah, all lost this in Dynasty this week or last week.
I think it's insane. Holy, like unbelievable. Like I didn't see those teams getting it through. Like maybe, you could see it, but I totally saw Orange Crush winning.
Yeah.
I totally thought the same thing with me too versus Curly. I thought I was going to beat him for sure. So, but it's nice to see a lot of new names in there. And like I say, 3 of those guys, the 3 that are from tier 2. Yeah, 3 guys are in tier 2 and only one in the LOC. And Chris and No More is in the semifinals in Tier 2 as well to try to get to the LOC. So, he's obviously having a great year. And, if he gets to the finals in both, I would say he's probably manager of the year this year,
Yeah.
looking at a formats. But yeah, no, it makes it even harder to see who's going to win these semifinals. So let's get into it.
Yeah, right. Let's hop right into it. We have No More versus Vlad Jr. Crew. I actually hold No More's first and second round picks, which, you know, I was hoping he lost last week so I can get a better pick, but it didn't help me there. And spoiler alert, it didn't help me with likely losers winning either, because I also have his first round pick. So, trading for first round pick for Philly Miracle Men, I might actually get the last two picks of the round. Or yeah, so it doesn't help me. But looking at the actual game, No More versus Vlad Jr. Crew, I think it really comes down to quarterback play. Which quarterback is going to play worse? Is it going to be Trubisky versus Minnesota, or is it going to be Wilson against Washington? Um, if you take those two out, as I said previously, you have Derrick Henry. I like No More's team. I like it, at least like them better than Vlad Jr. Crew. I mean, running backs in comparison, I think No More gets the nod here. Same thing, wide receiver, and especially for Vlad Jr. Crew, he has Michael Thomas playing, and there's two questions there. Is which quarterback's going to be thrown to Michael Thomas? Is it going to be Drew Brees, who is not really targeting Michael Thomas, or is it going to be Tyson Hill, who is? But then is the second question is, can Tyson Hill actually do anything this week versus where he sucked last week against the Eagles?
Yeah, no, you bring up a lot of great points. I'm going to be honest to Christian Vlad Jr. I've been underestimating him all year. Never really, I thought he was a pretender, to be honest. And Christian O'More, I know, made some moves, but I think the difference is Christian O'More, of course, has Joe Burrow hurt for the year. And that lack of the second quarterback's going to hurt. Obviously, because of the rules the way they are, he ain't going to get rid of Joe Burrow, right? So I think that's going to be a big difference, even if Wilson does struggle against Washington, which I do predict. And let's face it, Trubisky's a joke. Like, he hasn't changed. If you watch the game, he hangs on to the ball way too long, like he always does. So then you get the sack and the minus points, right? So and I also love the fact that Christian Vlad Jr. Crew has Darren Waller, who can put up, 40 points like he did that one week, and TJ Hawkinson, who I think is the best receiver in Detroit. So I'm going Christian Jr. Crew. As much as I'd like to see Chris and No More make it to the finals and get, be the first repeat champ, I think it's going to be Chris and Vlad Jr. Crew getting through.
I mean, it's a valid point. I don't like Teddy Bridgewater. I think Carolina is going to sign another quarterback, or at least draft another quarterback. And he's playing Green Bay. I mean, Green Bay's pass defense is not bad. I think they are ranked top 7 or 8 in points to quarterbacks. So I think I like for that, and obviously Russell Wilson. I think having one quarterback for No More in this game actually doesn't hurt him.
Yeah, I think it's going to be close for sure, and it's the battle of the Chris's. So these guys are division rivals too. So
Yeah.
I mean, Canadian division is legit, and one of them's going to represent the division in the finals.
Yep. Next up, you have likely losers versus Curly Lamborghini, and honestly, this game's going to be close. Um, I actually think likely losers is going to win just because if you watch, I don't know if you actually watched in the Eagles' last two games they played. Obviously, being an Eagles fan, I have. They're not actually not letting quarterbacks do much. I mean, they didn't Russell Wilson unless those deep bombs. And then you had Tyson Hill and Kyler Murray. I mean, running quarterbacks in the beginning of the season and doing things on them, but not lately. And with that said, I just like the losers, running backs a little bit better. I mean, Lamborghini does have Devontae Adams, but I mean he's playing Stephon Diggs, who I think is right. I think Diggs is in the top 1 or 2 in points for wide receivers, and so I mean it's going to be a close game, but I'm going to give this to likely losers.
Yeah, when I compare the two rosters, like I see a lot of like on Curly's team, I see boom players, right? So the Tyreeks and the Devontae Adams can put up huge points, right, on any
Correct.
given week.
Yep.
But when you get likely lose the roster, you're right. You brought up some great points in those positions, but then even IDPs. You look at the difference in IDPs, even at linebacker. DB. He's got Adams, Peppers there. I think likely losers is a better team. You know, I can see why I lost to Curly. I mean, I don't think my team's still there yet in Dynasty. But these two teams are two surprise teams, and I'm going Stewart because he's also in our division, and I want him to represent the division proud. And yeah, I'm going with him just because I think the roster overall is better.
Yeah. And but if I was likely losers, I would drop Matt Ryan and pick up anything, anybody, just because Matt Ryan sucks. And as in the beginning I said, fuck Matt Ryan. I stick by it. So yeah. And
It
then
sucks when you address an unreliable quarterback like that all year. It sucks.
uh-huh. Hey, I mean we don't have any more teams to talk about. I did put up 256 with a quarterback who only got me 2 points against you, just so you know. Or up 262.
No, I'm not kidding. I was because the Browns weren't playing, so I was watching Red Zone, and then in the afternoon, that Kari Willis interception, pick
Uh-huh.
six. I'm like, are you kidding me? 'Cause I was watching the range. I'm like, oh yeah, it's still gonna win. And then boom, he gets that pick six, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, I was definitely sweating there for a bit. I thought you had a chance there, but Chubb came through for me like he was supposed to.
Oh, he definitely did. Oh, just to recap, likely losers for him. I have his first. He has his second. Curly Lamborghini has both of his first and second picks. And then,
Nice.
so actually, one thing I wanted to point out is, in for picks is, have you actually noticed how many picks Fighting Geese has? I think she has two firsts, two seconds, two thirds, and two fourths. And then going look, I think that's exactly what it was. And then the Architect has one first, 4 seconds. Honestly, I think I'd rather have Sousa's picks. What's your opinion on that?
Yeah, hard to say. I think really what it comes down to is keeper quality, right? So depending on what the team's keepers are going to be, it really determines like how who would have the better draft position there. And I honestly looking at both teams, they have to improve a keeper. So I think they're going to use some of that draft capital to acquire better keepers. And then that's what I would do if I was them. Same with BC Lions, because you could get all those picks and they turn out to be shit. Like they can. Like
Yeah,
let's face it. Other when you get past the rookies in round one, then you're drafting the Jameson Crowders of the world and things like that. And at that point, are those guys really going to add value to your team and for years down the road? Not really. So why wouldn't you use some of those picks to try to get a Delvin Cook from somebody or whatever the case may be? You got the picks to do it.
yeah.
But yeah, so
No, I agree with you on there. And then, are we? Have you made a decision on? Are we going to have two streams next week? One for the regular talking, and the one for the reveal of the lottery.
great idea. Yeah, no, I think we should. Let's do the draft lottery next week of the finals. Because I think it will bring a larger audience for Dynasty, and it kind of wraps up the year for everybody because they know who their picks are going to be, and we know who won the league, right? So
Yep.
it's going to be great.
Perfect. All right. Well, we can discuss that more and then come up with ideas how we want to do that.
Totally.
All right, man. Well, I don't got anything else. Anything else you want to bring up?
Not really. Just no. It's been a lot of fun as always, and I just some of the guys are gonna disconnect already, like guys like Josh. So I wish all you guys out there happy holidays, and hopefully you guys keep engaged. And also just want to bring up for everyone in the league, if you're watching, maybe comment and say if you'd be into like a trade frenzy day, the day after the finals. I think it'd be pretty cool to get a bunch of us together. It's the holidays, so you might have some time off. You're just sitting around with your family, you're bored. We can all just hop on and discuss trades and make a lot of moves the day after, and then really take the off season.
Yeah, I agree, and I just want to put out there to make sure everybody does set their lineup though, especially if you're in the consolation for the LOC tier two, and then if you're obviously if you lost in the regular real playoffs in the LOC because we are still playing for seeding and we don't want you to tank to get a better pick.
That's right. We're a competitive league, and that's the way we want to keep it. And yeah, that'll never change. So
Perfect. All right, man. I'll let
well,
you.
well
Good.
yeah, I'll get some dinner in me now.
All right, man. I'll let you wrap it up. I'll talk to you later.